he'll sit by the window and look for like my car was there. But I wasn't, and he knows my car. So he'll sit there and he'll look and look. He brought it to me. The other one brought it to her. You know. So he'll sit there and he'll look and look and look and just wouldn't stop staring at the window and stop eating it. That's so sad. I was like,
I'd like to call the council meeting to order. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Paul,
Here.
Vice Mayor Starkey. Here. Councilmember Whitman.
Here.
Councilmember Hatton.
Here.
Councilmember Lewis.
Here.
Mr. Lemack.
Here.
Mr. Lewis. Here. Mr. Holste. Here. Mr. Sherwin.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We always start our first meeting of the month. I know it's a little late, but it is our first meeting in July. With the open public comments, speakers will not be limited to the number of topics. However, you cannot speak on anything that is on the public hearing portion of tonight's agenda. When that comes up on the agenda, you're more than welcome to speak on it. And you'll be limited to 3 minutes to address the council. So is there anyone here that would like to speak this evening? Let's come forward and state your name and address.
My name is Susan Anderson. I live at 2301 Southwest 34th Terrace in Fort Lauderdale. Into the microphone. This is my first time doing this. Is that good? Okay. Well, I'm here today to talk about the trees, the oak trees, specifically here on Pine Island Road. There are 27 trees between Nova Drive and what is this, 36th, that will be chopped down for no reason, because they don't want to work around them. If you go below that to Orange Drive, there will be 40 oak trees just chopped down for no reason. They're beautiful. They let us breathe. I need help. I need help by somebody in here to help me guide me through Broward County to help save these trees.
We have been discussing this on several occasions, even earlier this evening, so we try to do what we can.
Someone maybe will help me? Help guide me through Broward County's, I don't even know where to start.
Didn't I?
Yes,
send
you and
some-
I have been conversing on email.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk with you, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Step forward, sir.
Good evening. My name is Steve Amarant. I reside at 13360 Southwest 43rd Street. If you recognize the last name, my wife, Dr. Arlene's been quite active in the Education Committee for some time. To begin with, I feel like a newbie in this town compared to other people. With 3 generations, we've just been here for a quarter of a century. You've been keeping Davie under wraps. We spent a half century in North Miami Beach, but I forgive you all. I'd rather have been here for 75 years. I wanted to just take a brief moment to talk about the newly formed or being formed Veterans Committee. The job that the town of Davie does by the mayor and the city council is just extraordinary on behalf of veterans. I actually learned about the breakfast a couple years ago. I've been attending it. Sometimes bring other veteran guests, and they just can't believe how everything is done for the veterans here. One of the high points is when there's a World War II vet is going over and introducing myself. It's a great honor to me. I was part of Honor Flight, and I used to chaperone or guide the World War II vets. And the mayor had said announcement, I think at the last meeting or one before, where we had lost a World War II vet. And at this most recent one, I introduced myself to two. It's a real honor to shake the hand of a World War II vet. In any event, I've been keeping in touch with Evelyn, who does, as you would know, an extraordinary job. I'm very anxious to get started with a new committee. I was honored to be the mayor's first nominee, and I understand we now actually have a quorum in that the third person went through the various paperwork things, with a fourth in process, and there's still a slot open, and I would ask the council person if they could go ahead and try and expedite their nomination. Evelyn suggested, although we have 3, it would be great when we get started to have our full complement. And I'd look forward to doing whatever we can to get the full 5 off the ground, to receiving what obviously will be a mandate by the City Council, giving us some direct responsibilities. And one that I would offer is having representatives of Honor Flight come to the Veterans Breakfast. There are still many veterans that don't know about that, and it would be a great service if we could get the word out. And then finally, I know the official complement will be 5, and I was wondering, as we do our work and spread the word, if the council might consider allowing more people to join. That would be your decision, certainly to be vetted, but I leave it to you. That was it. Just very excited and look forward to getting us up to the 5 so we could get going. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we set policy where there's only 1 appointment per council member, so.
Me, yeah, I was on vacation, so I didn't get to that.
Okay, is there anyone else that would like to speak? Okay, then I will close the public portion of the meeting and go on to our first presentation. Assistant Chief Daniel Moran, you're going to be presenting the, we had a lovely program yesterday at Veterans Park, and you'll be explaining it and introducing Aiden Perry's mother.
My pleasure. That really was a great event. Again, I thank everybody that was able to attend. Really appreciate the support. So good evening, Mayor, Town Administration, Council, staff, Department Directors, residents, and guests. I'm Dana Murray, Assistant Fire Chief. It's my honor to provide an update on joining the Aiden Perry Hero Life Ring Initiative. We're incredibly thankful to the Aiden Perry Good Samaritan and Scholarship Foundation for their generous donation of 10 life rings. You'll see one on display over here. This act of generosity will significantly aid in our efforts to prevent water-related tragedies. Initiatives like this one wouldn't be possible without the leadership and support we receive from all of you, so thank you. I'd also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our Public Works and Parks and Recreation departments for their invaluable partnership in getting everything installed. Their dedication and hard work were crucial to bringing this program and initiative to fruition. Joining this initiative allows us to pay tribute to Aiden Perry for his heroic actions and selflessness. His bravery in sacrificing his life to save a driver's life who tragically drove into a lake serves as an inspiration to us all. Aiden's legacy will live on through these life rings, serving as a reminder of the importance of community and courage. The town of Davie is committed to public safety, and we hope that these life rings will serve as a vital tool in preventing future tragedies and saving lives. I'd like to introduce everybody to Ms. Sarah Perry.
Hi, good evening. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission, staff, thank you again for having me in your city and having me here tonight. Yes, yesterday was a great day. It was a great day in the town of Davie because Aiden's Hero Life Rings are now part of your city. It means a lot to me. It means a lot for many reasons. First of all, of course, as we know, it's going to help prevent drownings and save lives. But it also means a lot because that night when I lost my son, it was a big call. And the town of Davie sent their first responders to try to help save my son. So it means a lot knowing that I can give back to the city that was there when I needed you the most. So as you know, by having these Hero Life Rings in your city, by your waterways, your residents are going to be safer. We don't know where the next accident is going to be, the next time there's going to be a water emergency. But having Aiden's Hero Life Rings there means that next time a Good Samaritan tries to save a life, they will live to tell the story. So I'm very grateful again for the opportunity. Thank you all. Thank you, Chief, Public Works, City, Parks Department, and of course, Commission for believing in my mission, understanding and realizing the importance of what I'm trying to do and being proactive for your residents because you will be heroes because you will save lives for supporting my mission. So thank you so much.
If the council would like to step down so we can take a picture. And I just would mention while you're moving that we had a nice picture of Sarah and myself in the Sun Sentinel. So I think that copy of that is being sent around to everybody on council.
Let me see. Very nice. Be careful.
Sorry.
And that's what happened. Don't you remember the back that goes this way? Remember there was supposed to, because they always said, I can't sit. Right? Why do I have to start from the back? My I know. I agree. Same.
Okay, as we move on to the next part of the agenda, we have a request under public hearings. Applicant has requested that number 34, Bonfini, be tabled to August 21st. May I have a motion?
Motion to table item number 34 to August 21st? What would you say?
21st, yeah.
21st.
Second.
And there's a second. Thank you. All those in favor, vote aye. Aye. Any
Mayor.
opposed?
Mayor, it's a public hearing, so we have to do a roll call vote.
Oh, okay. Roll call.
Councilmember Lewis? Yes. Councilmember Hatton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman?
Yes.
Mayor Paul?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Consent agenda. Is there anyone that would like to pull anything from the consent agenda? Nor I. How do you like that, folks? May we have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Motion to accept the consent agenda.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Okay, going on to public hearings. I need my glasses. Number 26 is a resolution, the CIP amendment. Mr. Sherwin, would you read the resolution by title, please?
A resolution of the Town of Davie, Florida, approving the Fourth Amendment to the 10-year capital improvements program for the Town of Davie for fiscal years 2024 through 2033, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. There's a public hearing. Any member of the public who wishes to speak for or against this might come forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Is there any questions or discussion from town council? Yeah, very good job in presenting this. Thank you, Ms. Henry. Appreciate that. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve number 26, the CIP amendment.
Second?
Okay, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Vice Mayor Starkey?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Paul?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman?
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Number 27 is the second and final reading for the pension plan amendment. Mr. Sherwin, would you read the ordinance by title?
An ordinance of the Town of Davie, Florida, amending the defined benefit plan of the town's retirement plan and trust for the management and general employees of the Town of Davie, amending Article 6, Section 6.02, benefit amounts and eligibility, to allow certain managerial employees with prior general employee service the ability to be in receipt of an in-service distribution of managerial benefits and actuarially reduced general benefits simultaneously, and then Article 18, Section 18.09, option to purchase prior credited service to allow for the purchase of prior part-time service for current full-time regular employees, providing for publication, providing an effective date, providing for severability, and providing for a repealer.
Deep breath. If there's any member of the public who wishes to speak for or against this item, you can come forward at this time of the public hearing. This is the second and final reading. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Is there anyone from council who needs to discuss or have any questions? I see no, everybody's shaking their head. May I have a motion to approve a pension plan amendment? Don't all speak at once.
Make a,
Motion to approve pension amendment 27 pension plan amendment.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hatton?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman?
yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey?
Yes.
Mayor Paul?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. This is a first reading, with second and final readings to be held on August 7th. Number 28 is a code amendment. Mr. Sherwin, would you read the ordinance by title?
Amending Chapter 26 titled Commercial Photography, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
It's a public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak for or against this? You may come forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Does council have any questions or discussion? So this is a good one. I like this. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve 28 ordinance.
Code
Second.
amendment.
Code amendment, thank you.
Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry. Roll call, please.
Mayor Paul?
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Number 29 is a code amendment. Mr. Sherwin, would you please
An ordinance
read
of-
the title? Thank you.
Yes. An ordinance of the Town of Davie, Florida, amending the following sections: Chapter 12, Land Development Code, Article 12, Subdivision Site Plans and Certificates of Use, Division 3, Site Plan Requirements and Procedures, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. The public hearing on this ordinance will be held on August 7th, but there is also an opportunity tonight. If anyone wishes to speak for or against this item, you may come forward at this time.
Mayor,
Seeing none,
next.
you have to wait.
I know, next.
Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Now, are there any town council members that wish to have any discussion? Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. I wish to be recognized. This is Vice Mayor Susan Starkey on this item, item number 29. Respectfully, I'd like to be heard before the motion is made. I cannot support this item, and I believe that as it's written, we will be giving up our responsibilities on oversight, which our constituents have entrusted us. When I was first elected in 2001, I ran on the premise that we would instill transparency and accountability to the public, and we've done that with many of the actions that we've taken. By this action tonight, we will be removing our council's responsibility on oversight on several major projects in our capital improvement plan in the upcoming future, one of which is the huge one of $55 million for our town hall. By this one, and another one is the farm park, fire station that may be proposed in the CIP as well in our projects going forward, just to name a few. Our public, as well as our council, needs to be fully aware of how we are spending our taxpayers' dollars that they've entrusted us, and as to be part of the process as well throughout, and to ensure that there's fiscal responsibility and accountability. The benefits of a design build was to expedite the process. And now we're being told that we also need to change the land development code in order to expedite this process of, and give the authority, or total authority of it, to the town administrator and/or his designee on any site plans or changes that may be necessary with regard to town facilities on town property. It also references that there will be a process to address in the future, but I do believe that this is putting the cart before the horse by passing this evening before we actually know what the process might be. So I have that as a concern as well. I just want to also say that I truly trust our administration, and I truly trust the council and what we've done to ensure that there's public accountability and transparency all throughout, and I really do mean that from the bottom of my heart. But by enacting a code, land development code regulation change in the future, we don't know who will be here or who will be over there to watch these projects. And so therefore, I don't think it's a good idea. It's explicit in our code, and it's explicit in our charter, as well as the state of Florida Constitution, that we have those rights and responsibilities as elected officials, and the public does entrust us to that. In 2004, to be exact, the ordinance that was passed is 2004-31, was a public participation process that on all land developments, we wanted the public to be sure to have a public hearing where they knew exactly what the council was doing by way of site plans and land development. So this also runs afoul, I believe, to the proposed process that we're being asked to approve this evening. Therefore, why would we hand over the most important major projects that we've had in a long time, which is the town council's responsibility for a new town hall that will last generations? I just truly believe that with the millions of dollars that are going to be invested, that we should not be modifying our land development code regulation at this time for this purpose. My fellow council members and the mayor, I just don't feel comfortable this time when I read it. And I really felt that it's something that I wanted to take a little more time over. I wanted to absolutely try, I discussed it with staff. I've reached out to a number of the staff members, including, but not limited to, Mr. Lamack and Mr. Holstein, Land Development, David Quigley, and our town attorney, and our clerk. Should the council decide that they want to move forward with this, I do believe that there would be an opportunity for the council to look at updates at 60% of design or possibly 80% of the design each time. But in a way, that's more than 50% done on the design, and is it not too late? They would be possibly looking for a thumbs up on us on whether we're moving forward with it at that time. I still think that could be a little bit more than half done, and it may be a little too late. Our current processes in place are allowing the town council to look at these design standards before we actually move forward with construction. And was that not the purpose of a design build? Again, should council also decide to move forward with it this evening, I would also want to see those processes and what the staff may had had in mind in order to, as it said in the backup, there would be a process for how we move forward on that. And I don't have that in front of us at this time. So for those reasons and the fact that I truly believe that we need to be transparent and accountable and responsible for the taxpayer dollars, I personally cannot vote for this item at this time. And I turn it back to you.
Okay, thank you. I kind of take a little different perspective on it, but there are some special circumstances involved, and we have been involved in the design build process already to a great extent. We have seen and we know basically what we have requested and what is being going to be placed before us. And I think built into this, if I understand correctly, there will be oversight by us at certain intervals. And we have been transparent. All the information that we've had, both on the farm park and the town hall, have been open discussion at past council meetings, and the public has been involved. So I don't think we're giving up any transparency. I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Lamack to perhaps clarify a few points. And I understand basically, and if we want to include that in the motion, that there would be intervals where we would be shown exactly what has transpired and be able to give our input and so forth, as we always do. I think that way it would be better because we would be doing it a little bit at a time instead of waiting till the end and then, having everything come to a head at one time. So I guess we look at it a little differently. The additional cost by delaying this a little any longer is going to be substantial from what I understand. But Mr. Lemack, why don't you take over from here?
Thank you, Mayor. First, I do want to thank the Vice Mayor because we did have a good talk about it, and she shared her thoughts with me, and we appreciate that. I'll share you some of the comments that I had with her and then add a couple of different additional items, just not only for you all, but for at least the public too. But the approval of this item would allow Town Council flexibility for an alternative site plan process on an as-needed basis. The most immediate example, as you brought up, Vice Mayor, is the alternative process, which would be the Town Hall project, which we always recognized that it would be under Town Council control. The Town Hall is confirmed as we conducted an extensive public design process. It led to the schematic design for the project. It reflects the elements that would be approved as part of the site plan process. And that it means that all development review committees, or we call it DRC disciplines, were included. It was building, engineering, fire, planning, zoning, and utilities. We brought this schematic design to Town Council for your approval, which was approved at a publicly advertised meeting. And we also figured, as this is a significant public building that requires certain security protected elements, environmental concerns such as trees, and our connectivity to our rodeo arena, it was believed that Town Council's direct involvement would have great value. This supported the design-build approach as well as the request for proposal for a contractor that was issued at 30% drawings and not a final design. So with Council's direct oversight, we were able to design a facility that's reflective of our history, our future, that controlled costs, and expedited the development process. Everything to date and everything we have done to date has and will continue to be for public input. In fact, the contractor to select the development will be before you at a council meeting in August of 2024. I do need to put this out there for you to consider, though. If the item's not approved tonight, this item, it will mean that we have to delay the awarding of the contractor for the developer, which you'll consider, and this will add months and most likely increase cost, as we will probably have to make changes. We have public participation meetings that we believe we've already had as we've gone through this, and the town will have to bear those costs. Our plan is, as both of you had suggested, our plan is to bring this back, the design, to you at 60% and 90%. You can change those if you like for your continued approval. And in addition, once the construction starts, that we will provide quarterly updates at town council meetings. We will provide progress to be viewed on our website along with our other capital improvement projects. So with all that being said, I'll be happy to answer additional questions. I do respect the opinion, but we always believe from the beginning that this was a council-controlled project and a public one at that best. So thank you.
And I think it still will be. Another comment? Okay,
Can I continue then?
what's there to continue?
Well, I wanted to speak on that issue that he raised,
What you just did?
not to some of the comment.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Lemack, and like we've discussed, you know, my concern still leads, it was a schematic design, it was not the site plan design that is in its finality. Yes, there was public hearings, and we do realize that that was all in just soliciting public's opinion on what they would like to see, and we did respect that as well and tried to incorporate a lot of that within the schematic before we went out for the bid. And I do believe that is a fact. What I'm concerned about is that we will not see a final site plan to come before us that would give us an opportunity. And I do not believe it will be a delay, since we've been working on, obviously, this for quite a while. There would be no difference than what we have now. The biggest delay would only be a matter of council's agenda, which by advertisement could be, by the time you put it on the agenda, it would be a month out. And that would be a month. To me, with $55 million on this project, and the town hall and the farm park and other huge investments that we're gonna be putting out forward, I do believe it is important for us to see a lot better the actual site plans before we move forward, and that's where I disagree with you on that.
Councilmember Lewis?
Mayor, I'm comfortable with this as it is. I'll be glad to make an motion and go on if we
Okay.
don't have.
I'd appreciate that. What I'd like to do is ask for it to come back at 50, 80, and 95.
That's fair.
And if you'll include that in your motion.
I'll make a motion to approve with the plans coming back at 50, 85,
80,
80, and 90.
95.
95. Okay.
Is that,
And I see that
Would-
Mr. Lamack is amenable to that, so.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And we're going to continue with our plan about the quarterly updates and posting in addition to that as well, and keeping it as expected
and
for.
you may be able to give us some additional information when we have the second reading.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Mayor, I'll second it.
You'll second it, Carol seconds it. We have a roll call vote.
Councilmember Whitman,
Yes.
Mayor Paul,
Yes,
Vice Mayor Starkey,
No?
Councilmember Hatton.
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Motion passes.
thank you. Thirty-one is a rezoning. This is second and final reading, and this is for the 5500 Davie Road project.
We're on 30.
Oh, I
Mayor,
thought I-
Yeah, there's
thought I
30.
skipped. Oh, I had checked it off inadvertently. I am sorry. The budget amendment, I'm sorry. Mr. Sherwin will read you the ordinance by title.
An ordinance of the Town of Davie, Florida, authorizing the Third Amendment to the fiscal year 2024 budget, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and
Thank you.
providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Public hearing will be on August 7th, but you have an opportunity tonight. If anybody would like to speak, may come forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any discussion or question by council? No. May I have a motion and a second, please?
Motion to approve number 30 budget amendment.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman.
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey.
Yes.
Mayor Paul.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Now 31. I knew you were here for something. This is the second reading on the rezoning. Mrs. Sherwin, would you read the ordinance by title?
All the quasis incidentally have been waived for
Thank you.
An ordinance of the Town of Davie, Florida, approving rezoning application ZB 23-073, 5500 Davie, changing the zoning designation of certain lands within the Town of Davie from agricultural A-1 district to low-density dwelling R-2, amending the town zoning map to comply therewith, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. And just before we, this requires a supermajority, right? Is there any member of the public that wishes to speak on this? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any discussion from council? I would like to mention, if you remember, I had a concern with the design on some of the buildings, and the principals came back and met with me, and what they presented as, in lieu of what they originally did, was phenomenal. And I've already sent them thank you and appreciated what they've done. It has relief, it has a little western flair, it's got stone and shutters, and, you know, it's just, it has some volume and some character. It's a Davie project now, and we appreciate it. So I'd like to see if we can get a motion to approve in a second.
Motion to
Go
approve
ahead.
number 31 rezoning?
Second it.
Okay. Roll call?
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey.
Yes.
Mayor Paul,
Yes,
Councilmember Hatton.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
thank you. Let's see, 32, variance, Garner. Mr. Sherwin, would you read the resolution by title, please?
A resolution of the Town of Davie, Florida, taking final action on variance application B23-064 Garner, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. How do we want to handle this? Is the applicant here? Okay. Would you care to speak? State your name and address.
My name is Matthew Gardner. I'm the property owner of 1601 Southwest 136th Ave in Davie, Florida. I submitted the variance just to be able to build a workshop in my backyard. There was an existing slab there. When I bought the property, I was like, oh, I can, build the building back there. And then when I went to go apply for it, they said it was too close to that existing slab was too close to the fence and I couldn't put a building there. So I went through the variance process to try to alleviate that issue, and I'm here today.
Do we need any staff report on this? Has everybody read the backup and everything? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's right around the corner from me, so I pass it every day. So I'm going to close the public hearing then, as nobody else is here to speak on this. Okay. I'll close the public hearing, and I'm going to start the discussion. I'm not happy with this. A variance, there has to be a hardship, and there is no hardship here because you could do the same thing with a smaller building. You still have the full use of your property. So that's my first point. The other is the actual size of this building is, to me, unreasonable for this location, right on 136th Avenue, across the street from what's going to be a beautiful passive park. And I just have considerable concerns about it. You talked about you needed a shop, but then it also mentioned you wanted something big enough to get all your vehicles into it. And that also kind of threw up a little bit of a flag of concern. So if anybody else would like to.
Can I answer some
Yes.
of your concerns? So I'm on the corner house, all right? So obviously when you drive down the street, I'm the first one you see. You said you live in the neighborhood, so you drive past it all the time. The building is not gonna be visible from 136, like in front of my house. Like my house is addressed off of 136, so like, yeah, you can see down 16th, but a building that's 5 foot tall, you'll be able to see. I got like the wooden farm style fence, I don't wanna have to put up a wall there, because that would ruin the whole look of the neighborhood,
Yeah, it probably wouldn't be approved either.
Yeah, so, I went in, like the concern of being able to see over top of the house. The building's only 16, the average is 16 with a peak of like 18. I held a pole up in front of my house that was 25 feet. You can't see it from the other side of the road. Like when you're in the road, you will not be able to see the building from 136 when you drive by, The size of the building that you're saying, the 30 by 50, I'm willing to work on the size. I'll drop it down 30 by 40. I got a mud truck, I have an airboat. I don't want this stuff sitting out in my yard. To me, that looks worse than if I was able to put all that stuff in the building. Because then you would just have a building that looks just like my house. It's not going to be painted, you know, no type of colors. It's going to be a white building. To me, that looks better than what's at my house right now, you know? Everyone in the neighborhood, not everyone, that's the wrong word. A lot of people in the neighborhood have these shops in their backyard, right? With being a corner lot, that is my backyard. It just so happens that my backyard is visible from the road because it's a corner house, you know? I didn't think that was gonna be an issue when I bought my house. I mean, this is my first house I ever bought, you know? And the hardship with the tree, I have a big Bashophia tree in the middle of my backyard. The setbacks, if I was to do the setbacks that are required by the code, that puts it in that tree, right? And then the drive leading out to 16th, the two trees I have in my backyard would be interrupted by that building, right? Where if I can just put the building where the slab is now, both those trees would stay, you know? And I don't, like I said, they're the only two trees in my backyard. When the sun goes down in the afternoon, the big Bashophia tree shades my whole entire pool deck. My kid goes out there, plays on the pool deck. Don't got to worry about sunscreen, nothing like that, you know? And I understand keeping Davie looking nice. The last thing I want is my yard to look like a junkyard, you know? All my mud truck runs, my airboat runs, they're not junk, but to someone who's not into that, they might look at it as that.
Out there, everybody's into that. So.
You know, so if I could put that in my building, you know, it also keeps out of the weather too. So it keeps my airboat nice and not rusty. You know, when I want to work outside right now, I got a canopy up that has like a tarp from Harbor Freight, you know. This is already going to be the second tarp I put on it, where if it was a solid building, I wouldn't be in that predicament, you know. And I'm willing to work with the city on the size. If you guys are willing to approve a 30 by 40 instead of a 30 by 50, I'll put stone on it. I'll make it whatever you guys need it to do.
My concern is the height and the size. And if you want to come back with something else, if we should deny this, you know, that would be up to you. But knowing that it would have to be smaller and it would have to fit better into the yard.
So with the height, if my house was taller, right? If my house was taller, I wouldn't even need a variance for the height. It just so happens that I got a house that was built in 1980 that only has a 15-foot ceiling or a 15-foot peak, you know? My next door neighbor has a gigantic roof that you can see over top of my house. When you're driving down the street, you see the neighbor's house before you see mine. And he's behind me, you know?
But you have to understand, there is no hardship here.
So
It's a self-imposed hardship.
So the trees having to come down to put the building where the setbacks are saying that I have to put it, that's not a hardship?
Actually, the Bashophia, if I'm not mistaken, is considered an exotic tree, and that,
The other tree that out by the fence is a laurel oak. I was told that that's one of the protected trees.
yeah, that would be protected, but the
You know, like I said,
Bashophia isn't.
I'm not trying to argue, you know,
Well,
at the end of the day, you guys have the end all say
At this
all.
particular point, yes.
How many square foot is your house?
My house is 2,300 square feet.
Yeah, that's and this is a big structure too to take, and then with all the driveways and everything, it takes away from the drainage. The soil percolates a lot of the water.
But he does have a lot of stuff there in the yard.
I know, but, so does a lot of other people. That's that area, that we live free, no HOA, and we have a lot of stuff.
So, if you guys are willing, like, I don't mind, tabling it and come and talk with you guys. Like I said, I'll do anything that I need to do to help get it passed, If you guys want drainage calculations to show that what I'm proposing will pass the drainage, obviously I'm not trying to change the drainage calculations. If the building's not gonna pass due to an engineering fault, that's one thing, I will go and do anything. If I need to make the driveway a little less because it will pass drainage, that's something I'm willing to do,
Mr. Limack, did you want to say something?
No, Mayor, I just wanted to apprise everybody, if you did end up voting on this and denying it, he can't come back for a year. That's all I was just gonna
That's why I said
let you
Yeah.
say.
And he seems like he's gonna be amenable
Yeah,
to working
I'm
with us, so-
amenable to that, and
Yeah, so-
I just let Susan say her piece.
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, on the one hand, I know that from being out there with a lot of friends who live out there, they have these types of storage garages. And, you know, it is important to keep, you know, your equipment out of the weather, because, you know, that's what makes Davie great. So, you know, I appreciate that you're interested in, especially since the mayor brought up a drainage issue, and making sure that, I didn't know if staff had had an opportunity to review that when they looked at the variance, if that was ever a consideration. Was it under discussion? I know I saw the backup that the Planning and Zoning Board, or Site Plan Committee, actually talked about the Bashophia tree, and that it needed to be pruned, but I didn't see anything that talked about the drainage.
So they required drainage calculations in the original comments for the variance application, but I spoke with them and I basically said, like, you know, this is a variance that if it got denied, I would be out the money. I called an engineer to get the drainage calculations, as they wanted $4,000 to do the calculations. So I was like, hey, I don't mind getting them when I start the building, but if I'm gonna put out $4,000 for drainage calculations for the Planning and Zoning Board or the City Commission to deny it anyway, now I'm out $4,000 for something I'm not gonna build, you know?
Right, but my question is actually, and I appreciate that, is to staff, when they reviewed the variance, did they look at the impacts on the drainage at all on this for Planning and Zoning and Site Plan Committee when they met? Or did Mike Crowley, the drainage expert, also?
I think we briefly looked at the overall layout and the fact that there was a lot of green area for the site, so that if it had to go forward, it could always be, you know, modified to have drainage to be able to accommodate it. So, you know.
All right,
Yeah, because I would support this, but I also want to support, you know, the district member to also meet with you to try to come up and make sure it's okay, but it seemed like if there was any glaring drainage issues, it would have been brought up, so I don't think you need to
I
hire
don't
somebody.
even think that probably came up.
I think we can make something work here. Like a,
Let's pick a date for tabling. I'd like to table it to either the 4th or the 18th of September, giving plenty of time to work things out, knowing that those are both budget hearing dates as well, so, but, you know, I think that's all right.
and you want him to meet with you or meet with me or who?
Both.
Okay, okay.
You can meet with both of us
Okay,
and
we'll,
and the engineer and everybody, and we'll see what we can work out. But I'm definitely having you I'm definitely interested in having you look to scale it down.
Okay.
Who's going to make the motion? No,
make a motion to table.
table to the 18th of September.
To the 18th of September, make a motion to table to the 18th of September.
I'll second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Mayor, roll call.
Oh, you have a roll call on the
Yes.
tabling? Okay.
Yes, it's a public hearing. Vice Mayor Starkey?
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman?
Yes.
Mayor Paul?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you.
We'll make it work.
Where are we? That was 32. And we have 33 is also a variance. Mr. Sherwin, would you read the resolution by title?
A resolution of the Town of Davie, Florida, taking final action on variance application V24-068 through Trigo, providing for severability, providing for conflict, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Is the applicant here? You want to step forward? From what I understand, this had been approved before, but the approval ran out.
Correct.
So you had to come back again for it.
Correct.
Okay, is there anything you'd like to add to it?
Unfortunately, I ran into some delays, the manufacturer of the mobile home, and it got here late. Prior to that, we had the septic tank installed with the plan of where the house was going to be installed, but when we went and tried to pull the permit, we found out that it had expired. So now I'm in a predicament of, I have a septic tank, I have everything planned, but I can't put the house where it was originally planned.
And I would just want to remind everybody that this particular area where the mobile home will be, there are actually almost acre sites.
For each one.
Huh?
For each
For
one,
each
yeah.
one,
For
yeah.
each one, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It's very
yeah.
unique, and
Right.
it's,
My lot, specifically, is zoned different with all the other homes that are adjacent to it.
yeah.
So that's the.
okay,
the
we
variance.
understand.
You had the home right there already
I have the
delivered.
home sitting there, but it's sitting there. I can't do anything.
Okay.
with it.
Does anybody else wish to speak for or against this? All right, seeing none, we'll close the open the public comments. Anybody
Mayor,
else?
I'll support this.
Yeah. Okay. Would you like to?
I went by there today, and I was surprised it was sitting there on the property.
Yeah, I mean, it's, thank God we haven't had a storm or anything because it's just
Would you
sitting
like
there.
to make the motion? as your
Certainly, I'll make the
district?
motion to approve.
I'll second it. Roll call.
Councilmember Hatton?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey?
Yes.
Mayor Paul?
Yes.
Motion passes.
And number 34 has been tabled.
Thank you
that
so much.
close- Okay, that closes the public hearing portion of the meeting. Next thing is appointments. I'd like to appoint Gary Kaufman to the History Preservation Board. That's an opening that I have. And I also understand Councilmember Whitman has an opening on the Ag and Environment Board. And I think we all know Rylan Rosano. She has expressed an interest in serving on that board, if you would be interested.
No, I've already, yeah, can I go ahead?
Yeah,
As recommended by the Mayor Paul, I would like to appoint Rosanna, sorry, to the Agricultural Environmental Advisory Committee.
thank you very much. I'm sure she'll
Mayor?
be happy, yes.
I have an appointment too.
Oh, good.
Oh, good, yeah. Okay, the Preservation Board, Lindsay Glasscock would like to continue
Who?
serving. Lindsay Glasscock.
Oh, okay, would like to continue. Very good. Hey, getting there. And I have, just for some interest, I have a couple of feelers out for some other people for the Veterans Board. Hmm?
Yeah, I do have an appointment, so if you could forward those recommendations over. I know that you, Carol, and Michelle seem to go to those quite often, and you've made some friendships that might be worthy of being on that committee, so
Yeah.
please forward those along, because my appointment that I originally had appointed could no longer serve.
Okay. Number 36, this is a Susan Starkey item. Florida
Yeah,
League of
maybe.
Cities, huh?
Maybe.
This is a Florida League of City designation of voting delegates. Oh.
Maybe.
So what's the details on this? We have the delegate and the alternate?
No, for this one, it's just the voting delegate.
Okay, I nominate Susan Starkey. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There you go.
I see how this goes. When they don't want to go, they throw Susie at it. It's
Well, you
like,
d- you
let
do it
Mikey
so
taste
well.
it, right?
Um,
Thank you.
the Historic Preservation Board was on the next, and we already did that, so. Sorry. That's all right. Okay. No committee recommendation, over the new business. Okay, the utilities divestiture update workshop is going to be August 7th at 5 o'clock. That's going to be an important workshop. Comments, I'm going to start today. I got a bunch of stuff. If I can find my piece of paper. Yeah, as I mentioned before, the Aiden Perry event yesterday was excellent, and I'll pass the picture and the article. Did you see it? And then if can send a copy to everybody. Channel 7 also did an interview and took a lot of film, but I never saw anything on it, so I don't know whether anybody else did. I did that. Okay, so remember I talked about wildflowers? The wildflower project has been planted. It's interesting because one of the things I wanted done was a ground cover, which creeps and covers a lot of area. I stopped by there today. The ground cover is doing so well, it's already growing into the grass, which means it's going to end up getting cut. So there wasn't enough room made available for the ground cover. That should have been a whole different area. Huh?
What a good problem to have.
Yes, so we have to be very careful now with the landscapers to make sure that they don't cut everything down. And speaking of landscaping, which is one of my big things, I understand that the contract is coming due in January. Is that true? I think. And I'd like to participate in that, if they're going to be doing an RFP, to be putting some things in there to get some control over the landscaping companies that wreck everything. I think I've already sent a number of suggestions to Mr. Lewis and Mr. Lemack, and I'd like to just continue with that. The Actors Community Theater, in collaboration with R&M Productions, did their first musical here this past weekend. It was really very cute, young people. It was great to see a young audience. Most of our audiences are 50 plus, and this time the production was younger individuals, and they brought all their friends, so it was great to see a nice young audience. August 6th is National Night Out, and I think we're going to be excuse me, spreading ourselves out in a number of locations in that evening. I did that budget, I did that. Okay, now, this is the next one coming up. Orange Blossom Parade. Now that the Davie Road construction has been completed, and in honor of our 100-year celebration, I would like council support to move the Orange Blossom Parade back to its historical location in downtown Davie. The route would travel the same as in past years along Davie Road from Southwest 39th Street to Orange Drive and end at the rodeo grounds. This would require road closures from Oaks or 36th Street to Griffin Road, as well as Orange Drive during the parade. But the festival itself, the Friday night, and all the vendors and everything would remain at the Bamford Sports Complex until we can reevaluate the festival relocating back downtown following the completion of the new town hall. So my question is, do I have your support on that? Yeah, goody, okay, you got it.
It's safe with what construction's going on, right?
I don't anticipate any major construction yet at that particular time. I would love it, but I don't think it's going to happen. There may be some basic groundwork being done, but that would be about it. We've received several emails that I've forwarded, and I understand that speeding on Pine Ridge Drive is getting out of hand again, and the residents have indicated that the police have put up a speed sign telling everybody how fast they're going. But the specific problem seems to be around the Tangerine and Whitehall area, and several residents have requested a speed hump there. And as I said, I've forwarded those emails, and perhaps we can have engineering look at it and pursue that. Last week, the town received a request from the Metropolitan Planning Organization for a letter of support for a federal grant related to EV charging and alternative fueling infrastructure. The grant is part of President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law and intended to deploy publicly accessible electric vehicle charging and alternative fueling infrastructure. In anticipation of this grant funding, the MPO developed an electric vehicle master plan identifying key locations along the federally designated alternative fuel corridors some of which extend through the town of Davie. Yippee. The Broward MPO is asking for letters of support by August 9 from the 18 municipalities identified as key locations within the master plan, and I'm asking for your support to prepare that, that letter of support for this. Say, can I write it? No, this has already been part of the vehicle master plan. They're identifying key locations. We can find out exactly where they are. Sure, I'm sure Brian will give that to us in a second. You all agree? Okay, so we'll go ahead and I'll work with staff on getting that letter put together, yeah, and our MPO person. You might ask that the next time you go, if they have the locations. I think you just had one meeting, didn't you? Okay, next time. Okay, so far I think that's most of what I wanted. Michelle, would you like to continue?
Thank you, Mayor. We had a few announcements. The town is having 3 back-to-school backpack giveaway events. Thursday, August 1st at the Rick and Rita Case Boys and Girls Club from 4 to 6 p.m. Monday, August 6th at the Davie Powell from 2 to 3:30 p.m. And Tuesday, August 6th at the Florence D. George Boys and Girls Club from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Also, the town of Davie will be hosting its annual Take a Kid Fishing event on Saturday, August 3rd from 8 to 10 a.m. at the Davie Golf Course, located at 8201 Nova Drive. This event is open to children ages 5 to 12. Prizes will be awarded. For more information, contact the Parks and Recreation Department at 954-797-1181 or email specialevents@davie-fl.gov. I would also like to wish all the July babies a happy birthday. And I'm looking for council's input. The Broward MPO is requesting an appointment to the Citizens Advisory Committee. And this council has always had an open mind to listen to any and all residents or business owners that come forth with requests. At the town's council meeting on February 7, 2024, under his comments, Councilmember Lewis brought up a request to shift Vixen's operating hours. However, at that time, I was unfamiliar with terms or conditions that led to the establishment of the current opening hours. Councilmember Lewis was seeking to have more information on the request brought back for council's discussion. The mayor and vice mayor suggested that the request should follow proper procedures. Councilmember Lewis moved to bring the item forward, which died for lack of a second. On May 3rd, Vixen's requested a pre-application meeting with planning and zoning to modify the settlement agreement, which Town Administrator Mr. Lemack and Assistant Town Attorney Phil Sherwin, present, canceled. Since this is a modification of the original settlement agreement ordered by the court, Mr. Lemack and Mr. Sherwin indicated to Vixen's that this was not the avenue to have the request heard. Administration and the town attorney's office have informed me there is only one town path the applicant can take to be heard, and that would be to have town council direct Mr. Lemack to bring back an agenda item for discussion and direction. Since we all have an open mind to listen, I would like to learn more about this request. If my fellow council members support this request, then Mr. Lemack can be directed to bring back additional information to assist us in the evaluation. So I would like to move to bring this item forward.
I support it, Mayor.
I don't.
I don't either.
Can I make a motion?
Oh, for God's sakes. Jeez.
You know, I really strongly oppose it because I believe that there's a settlement agreement out there, and if we open the door and this, we're gonna be opening the door for
No, we're
many
not.
other things, and I
Well,
just
let's
think
find
it's wrong to do.
Let's look at it.
give direction to the
Where-
administrator
no.
to bring back more information.
Oh, come on.
I think we're familiar with it, Carol.
Yeah, we've gone through this so many times. I
I'll make a
think you made a
motion.
motion, and I have a second, so we have to vote on it. But I think I'm very disappointed, very disappointed.
No, Michelle, and then, made the motion, and,
I'll second it.
Marlon
And he
seconded.
had seconded.
Yeah.
Just
What's the motion, please?
The motion is to bring the item back forward for us to have discussion on it, for Mr. Lemack to do some more
So I understood that
information on it.
if it's a court order, it has to come from the court. It doesn't come from us.
We'll find out.
You know,
Mr. Sherwin, looks like he wants to comment on
Well,
it.
I do believe the court retained jurisdiction over the settlement agreement, but I'd have to look at it very closely to make sure of that. But I think that would be a requirement, and if it was to move forward, as well as obviously an agreed upon modification of the terms.
Mr. Sherman, is there a time limit on that, on court orders such as that? Is there a time limit, or does it expire once it's done and handled? If I'm making myself clear, I'm probably.
No, you're not.
I think that it can be opened up, because I'd have to really look at it again, but it seems to me that the court retained jurisdiction, so there could be a method of opening up by counsel to.
And I would be opposed to opening it anyway, so whatever.
Yeah.
So we have to vote.
I guess we'll vote on it.
Take a roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Starkey?
No.
What are we voting on?
I'm
No.
not bringing this back.
Whether to bring it back, is that what we're voting on?
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton, can you please put your microphone on?
Oh, I'm so
Thank you.
I was just asking, what are we voting on? I wanted to be clear of what we were voting on.
Oh, God.
So there's a motion and a second, and so the roll call is Vice Mayor Starkey,
No.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Mayor Paul,
No.
Councilmember Whitman,
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Excuse me? Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Speaking of vixens, July 30th is World Day Against Human Trafficking. So I would like everybody to be aware that that's a day we should try to end human trafficking, and the Florida Alliance to End Human Trafficking is hosting their outreach according to that. Leave no child behind in the fight against human trafficking. This is a global campaign recognized on July 30th, 2024, and is a call for action to protect the vulnerable groups of exploited and support the child victims of human trafficking. To that also, I wanted to say that I've been working with Seroptimus, and 3 of us are Seroptimus up here, and we gathered a bunch of supplies and providing emergency backpacks for those human trafficking victims, and have presented those to the FBI outreach as well as our police department. And then we have 3 more that are going to Justice for Kids, which is by Kelly Cronenberg's attorney. So 3 more will be going to them, and I have them in my backpack, in my back of my car to deliver. But I just wanted to let you know that, you know, we used to hold a poster contest on this issue in the high schools with an art poster contest to bring awareness. And we're hoping that we can also do that again in the future. January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and I've been working with Adam Granite, who's our outreach person, and the chief, I think you're still over there, I can't see you, but hello, and trying to do truckers against trafficking again at the truck stop near Vixens, so that people would be available to the efforts that we need to make aware. And the truckers have been joining a lot of the police agencies and helping them with that outreach, because of it really is a horrible thing that they put these kids through. I want to thank Jeff and his staff and everybody who put together the public art, and we had the Public Art Advisory Committee. I'm really excited to see some of the art renderings that were presented. I went to the committee because I was excited. I couldn't quite pull them up very well here, and so I wanted to go see some of the art renderings, and I pass them around, but They have been ranked, and everybody will get a copy of their rankings on the horse design. And it's pretty exciting, and I want to thank that committee because they really streamlined it well and will be presenting those to us. And so the next, I don't know, August, September, Jeff said he'll have those to us to kind of first look at the design to approve, then look at the models of the horses. There are 5 design models, and which would then apply to the artwork to the model of the life-size horses, and then come back to us again on where the location will be. It'll go back and forth between the committees. And so I was pretty excited about it. I really want to thank their department and thank that committee because they've really done a great job along with our consultants. So thank them very much for that. The Boys and Girls Club is having their golf tournament, the Caddy Shack Revisited. I've been honorary co-chair or chair over that committee for probably about 23 years now. And anybody who's interested or know anybody who's interested in either sponsoring or playing, it's a wonderful tournament that then benefits the 2 clubs in Davie that are the Boys and Girls Club. And I see one of our fellow golfers out there in the audience right now. And I know you already signed up. I know I saw your check sheet. So I just wanted to spread the good word on the golf tournament if anybody's interested in golfing. The other golf tournament is the Davie Seroptimus Golf Tournament as well. So there's 2 charity golf tournaments that are very good and benefiting the residents and activities in Davie. So if you need any further information on either one of those, please feel free to let me know. I want to thank staff for also working with me on a couple of the residents' community requests. Electrical inspector out in Davie West when they did the Mass Tech hookup going underground with the power. I know that, thank you, Phil, for that. I wanted to call you out for that. And also Osdell, I believe you were involved in helping that, and our electrician, and I think electrical, and thank you for working with them on trying to get this thing resolved. There's another permit. I wanted to thank you, George Egues. Thank you, Phil, again for looking forward and handling that resident's request as well. And there was a couple more things, but that can wait. Thank you.
No comment. Marlon?
Thank you, Mayor. Let me open up my computer. On next week, Saturday, August 3rd, at the Davie Golf Course, we have the Take a Kid Fishing event. Excuse me, that event starts at 8 a.m. And I want to remind everybody that school starts, actually, what I want to talk about is our town staff is leading an initiative, as I think Michelle Whitman had talked about, for supplies, and that's, we're going to be doing that through August 2nd. And I want to thank again Mr. Lamack and Mr. Ackerman for the great job they did with that, putting that budget together. But I wanted to make a comment that today, before the CRA, they always hand out the police reports here. And on the second page here, it talks about our CRA officers transported an elderly female subject to the Davie United Methodist Church to have her first shower in 4 years. The lady was supplied with new clothing and meals. I want to just commend our police officers for making, looking out for this poor soul, and that she was able to get some help she needed. And kudos to the Davie United Methodist Church for being there to get the shower and the clothing and the meals for this woman. My heart goes out. That broke my heart when I read that, first shower in 4 years. I'm going to probably be thinking about that the rest of the week. I couldn't get that off my mind, but my hat and heart goes out to the church and to our police officers that handle stuff like that. It's sad, but it's great to see that something like that was handled. We have the resources here in the town to help people, and I want to commend everybody involved. You're doing God's work when you do stuff like that. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Is that it? Thank you. Mr. Lemach?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I do have a few things. I know Chief Gonzalez couldn't be here with us from the fire department, but I know Assistant Chief Moran is. So I'm going to ask him to come forward and share some really good news with everybody. Chief?
Thank you again. It's an honor to be here for a second time tonight. Davie Fire Rescue was awarded the Mission Lifeline EMS Gold Achievement Award from the American Heart Association.
Wow.
So this is the 5th year in a row that we've received that award. And this year, they also added a Target Heart Attack Award, which really talks to the relationship we have with the hospitals and how seamlessly we integrate with them to get the patient to the cath lab to get their final treatment that they need. It's such an honor to be up here because really it's an opportunity to brag about the care that our firefighter and paramedics are giving in the field. We all should be very proud of what they're doing. I mean, we are setting the tone nationally, and we're hitting these benchmarks to get this gold award. So again, I'm incredibly proud of them. Our commitment to quality care extends beyond our immediate team. We foster invaluable partnerships with the local hospitals, ensuring that our patients receive seamless, timely, and efficient care from the moment we arrive on scene through to the continuation of their treatment in the hospital. These collaborations are crucial as they help us overcome barriers to prompt treatment and significantly improve patient outcomes. I want to extend my gratitude to all of our personnel for their dedication and to our partners in the healthcare community for their continued collaboration. Together, we've created a system of care that offers our patients the best possible chance of survival and a better quality of life. Also kind of unique tonight, but my son Noah asked to come to his first council meeting, so I have him with me. But that's it. Thank you very much, and thank you again for giving me this opportunity.
Why does he have more hair?
Got it from his mom.
I know your dad had it too. I worked with his father for a number of years too, so I'm very proud of Chief Moran. The second item I wanted to talk about is about our July 4th festivities. I wanted to give you a recap on the exceptional job that Jeff and his special events team, and he was able to bring all our disciplines together for a magnificent event for all our Davie residents. So I just wanted to give you a brief summary to start with. We had registrations of about 1,170 people who pre-registered. That was only one per household, so the numbers will be a little bit different. There were 2,000 people that walked in that did not, but anybody with a valid Davie ID was not turned away, even if they didn't pre-register. And our estimated attendance, and for those of us who were there, it was about 9,500 people, and no incidents. Wow. No incidents. And I think you might find this of interest. We were tracking through some survey and samplings about the districts that people came from our 4 districts. So I'm just going to give you some percentages. District 1, we had 23% attendees. District 2, 20%. District 3, 45%, and District 4, 12%. So it was pretty well attended from across. Yeah, it wasn't meant for a competition, but it was really interesting to see that we had attendance from across the town. I also would like to just key up. Ariana's going to show you. The drone show was extremely well received, and for those that didn't have the chance to see it, for those of us that really, really enjoyed it and want to see it again, I'm going to show you just a real short, that's about a minute and 50-second video. I thought you and everybody else might like to see it again. Thank you.
So much applause. Tap a guitar that it's.
And I just want to let you know that showing up in our surveys preliminarily, and you should know that the feedback, and we're still receiving it, was that it was a great event, and the drone show was a wonderful addition to the fireworks. So I just wanted to, again, to share that with you, thank everybody in the town and Jeff and the staff for a great job. And I do have one last comment, because lots of successes in different areas of the town, across our entire town. I'm going to have Ariana I put up a couple of certificates up there, and just to tell you what they are, in case they're difficult to see, but certainly worthy of mentioning. We received the 100 Best Fleets in America's program recognition. That's for peak performance in public and commercial fleet operations, as well as the top fleet technician and fleet professional of the year. This program identifies and encourages the ever-increasing levels of performance and improvement and innovation within the fleet industry. The 100 Best Fleets in America contest is open to any fleet in North, Central, or South America. And I want to recognize Stephen Bush, our fleet manager, for his participation, knowledge, and support leading to this recognition. And the other one is a recognition of the government magazine's notable fleets for 2024. It says that we're meeting the program's standard of excellence. So I think that it shows the depth across the entire town for the recognition and professionalism that we provide. And I thank you for allowing me to introduce these. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Sherman?
I have nothing, Mayor.
Thank you very much. If there are no objections, we're adjourned.